Thank you, President. I rise to make a brief contribution to the motion from Mr Limbrick and advise that LCV will be supporting the motion. I thank Mr Limbrick for bringing this question before the chamber, and I would like to endorse most of the comments that were made by Mr Limbrick and also Dr Mansfield in her contribution. I want to say at the outset that I love local government. It is the one level of government that is immediately accessible to the community. Local government addresses a range of issues that are immediately affecting their own communities. They speak to their communities, they are part of their communities in an organic manner that we cannot replicate here. And yet, you see them regularly treated with such a lack of respect, with a paternalism by both major parties. Now, the Model Code of Conduct was introduced in 2024 and applied from the start of that term. Prior to that, it was incumbent on each council to create its own code of conduct based on the principles found in the Act and decide what their internal dispute resolution process should be. It was a good process as it required councillors to actually sit around the table and figure out how they would work together. It was an exercise in sharing responsibility for the culture and good governance of the council. Now, while it didn't automatically guarantee good behaviour in council, it did at least afford councils the opportunity from the start to seriously grapple with the question of what makes for good governance and what makes for a healthy culture. With an imposed top-down model of councillor in the form of the Councillor Code of Conduct, the only thing this government seems to do it's little wonder that councillors are appealing to external parties more often to adjudicate on disputes and to correctly interpret those rules that councillors had no hand in writing or endorsing. There's a lot of inconsistency between arbiter decisions, and that's been discussed in the chamber already. And that's both within councils and between councils. Some decisions have been surprisingly harsh, while others have been fine, and others failed to get the point. But this inconsistency erodes council and public confidence in the process. Plus, they're expensive, and most of our councils need additional costs like they need a hole in the head. I believe the increasing use of external arbiters to resolve disputes is an obvious result of the state removing the requirement for councils to take responsibility for developing their own code of conduct and their own internal dispute resolution process. Local government, as I said, is the most accessible part of our democracy and the most immediate form of local representation, but they are treated with contempt by both the parties. And local councils are not the only place, and certainly not the only level of government, where you'll find racism or homophobia, sexism or corruption. They certainly don't have a monopoly on bad behaviour. Yet you wouldn't know that if you see how paternalistically councils are regularly treated by state governments. So why then do they have a code of conduct imposed upon them which hampers the ability of councillors to engage in the work that they are set up to do? I thank Mr McCracken for his contribution. It was really good, you know. Freedom of speech is a given in this place. We are protected by parliamentary privilege. Councils are shaped by and make decisions for their local communities. And like all forms of government, they should be forums for rigorous discussion and diversity of opinions. How else can we ensure that issues of public concern are given the broadest possible consideration by our representatives? Mr Limbrick's motion is therefore entirely appropriate. The Victorian Government needs to review the Model Councillor Code of Conduct laws to ensure our local representatives are free to challenge ideas and policies without the threat of unnecessary and expensive dispute resolution that not only dampens debate but erodes trust in local government and discourages local participation. Thank you.
Ms. Makora.